Helium redefined the traditional understanding of crypto mining by pioneering and scaling crypto mining using LoRaWAN technology. This made it possible for anyone to purchase a small, low-power, and silent crypto miner and operate it from their own home. Now, a few years and over 500,000 hotspots later, it appears Helium is again paving the way for the future and marriage of crypto mining and incentive networks. In the latest major network overhaul that we covered here on the channel at the end of January, Helium Sub-DAOs were introduced. Since then, there have been extensive documentation released that articulate the ideas with far more detail than was originally available. In one of the main Sub-DAOs, which will be home to the Helium 5G protocol, there is documentation that suggests participants can in fact mine and earn a new network token known as MNT, or Mobile Network Token, simply by running a witnessing mobile app on their mobile device. All of this sounds very promising, and it could be a new opportunity to get in at the very beginning of this new Sub-DAO. But there are a few questions we still need answered. Let's take a look at the details in today's video. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video here in the Crypto Compound channel. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you're having a great day. Please hit that like and subscribe on the way, and it really helps support the channel, and I really would appreciate it. In today's video, we are going to be discussing the new Helium HIP-53 5G Sub-DAO. This Sub-DAO will be home to the 5G protocol, where all of the economic and governance layers for the 5G economic layer here in the Helium network will live. As we can see here, the HIP has been officially published here in the GitHub. We will go through the details here, some really critical and important updates for this Sub-DAO that can really be the beginning of an entirely new network in itself, especially considering the demand that we know is out there for this 5G network connectivity. Guys, before we get into the details, I can't help myself but look at the HNT price chart very briefly here. We are in a critical turning point here for Helium, depending on where we go. As you can see, I tweeted about this late last night. However, if we look at the HNT daily price chart right now, we can see that we are pinging in between the 50 and the 200 EMA here on the chart. Now, a break to either side. Of course, we've been wicking above and below, and we've gotten denied around this area. However, a confirmation close above or below either the 200 or above the 50 EMA is going to be critical in determining the momentum shift here for Helium moving forward. As we can see, the 50 EMA has never in Helium's history, since it came above it, crossed below the 200 EMA. All throughout this time, there has never been some people would call a death cross. That would be detrimental to the Helium price and momentum moving forward. So this is very critical to keep watching this area. As you can see, we are pinging in between, and we just almost exactly touched this 200 EMA here just 2 days ago. So make sure to keep an eye on that. Now, to get into the details of this 5G Sub-DAO, here is the channel on the official Helium community Discord dedicated to the Helium HIP-53 5G Sub-DAO. As you can see, Jamie created this. He put a little intro here that describes that this will be the home of the 5G network. And the important part that we must realize is that it is going to house the economic layer as well as the governance mechanisms here for 5G. They will all live in this 5G Sub-DAO. And of course, guys, what I don't think a lot of people realize is that there is in fact an entirely new token known as the Mobile Network Token, or MNT. This is going to be a token that is completely dedicated to this Sub-DAO and will be related to HNT based on a bonding curve. It gets a little bit complicated, but we're going to go through some of the important details here in the video. And of course, we're going to talk about this potential of mining MNT on your mobile device. Now, also, if we move down here in this channel, there are some very good questions and points being made by members here in the channel. We will try to get to some of these concerns moving forward in the video. Now, if we take a look here on GitHub at the HIP-53 5G Sub-DAO, there is a lot of information. A lot of it is not completely necessary if we are just a participant here in the Helium community. A lot of this stuff becomes very technical and is for a lot of different participants. However, it outlines very clearly how this would work if you want to read through it. As I do in all the videos, I'm not going to sit here and read all of this stuff to you. It is very interesting and it is very well thought out. So I would encourage you to come read it if you are interested. However, what we're going to be most interested in is this bonding curve here. We'll also be very interested in the network participants. Of course, this outlines every player here in the 5G Sub-DAO, and right here in the witness participant section which also explains the functional role and the economic role of each participant, this is where they outline the fact that users or subscribers can actually run a witnessing app on their phone to verify coverage provided by the Helium hotspot hosts. Witnesses are required to be a subscriber, and the economic role here is receives MNT mining rewards for witnessing coverage. So this almost acts the same way that traditional HNT Helium miners right now witness other Helium hotspot signals and are rewarded for providing that proof of coverage. Now, I think one of the very important and first questions I had when I read this was that witnesses are required to be a subscriber. And if we look up here, it explains what a subscriber participant is, and it's a user of the network or someone that uses the network. And the economic role is pays to access data on the network. Now, of course, that is extremely general. We do not know what entails paying to access data on the network. We don't know if that's a fixed fee, if that's a monthly fee. I think that is one of the most important questions here when we're trying to understand how to actually mine MNT and witness other hotspot host signals from our cell phones or a witnessing app as mentioned here. However, if we think about the Helium network today and we consider that in order to mine HNT, you do of course have to pay to mine HNT by purchasing a Helium miner. So depending on what payment to access the network looks like would really determine how feasible it is for anyone to now mine and witness and earn MNT from their cell phone. Now, what we must remember and what is critical for this to work correctly and for the incentives to be aligned is that if you can only receive MNT mining rewards for witnessing coverage on the network, and you can only receive those rewards by paying to access the network, we have to remember that in the very beginning of this network, there isn't going to be much data being transferred. So I don't see the incentive for actually paying money to access the network, because you're not going to be able to earn any MNT because there isn't going to be enough coverage to witness in order to earn MNT. So now if we think about how Helium started, you were able to purchase a hotspot and you didn't actually have to transfer data or witness anything in the very beginning. You got rewarded just for sending out beacons and so forth and stuff like that, just for setting up the hotspot. But in this model, it seems that you have to first pay to access the data on the network in order to receive rewards. But in the beginning, there's going to be very few witnessing opportunities. So I think that is really the main point that I am a little bit confused here by, but I'm sure they do have some sort of workaround to get this network and this Sub-DAO kickstarted. Now, that was the first and main question I had when reading through this network participant chart here, but there are a few other things I do want to cover, one of them being this bonding curve here. So now we know there is an MNT token or mobile network token specifically designed for the 5G Sub-DAO. Now this MNT or mobile network token is related to HNT based on this bonding curve. As you can see, for a given amount of HNT deposited to or withdrawn from the 5G bonding curve, the increase or decrease in MNT supply and price is given by the resulting change in the area under the curve. The area under the curve is determined by this equation here, K being 1.1. Now, it's very important to understand what a bonding curve is. And as you can see here, a bonding curve describes the relationship between the price and supply of an asset. It is a mathematical concept modeling the idea that the price of an asset increases slightly for subsequent buyers with each purchase. So basically, as asset supply increases, so does the asset price, which basically means the more demand there is for MNT, the higher the price for MNT will go. And of course, MNT is convertible to HNT. So once the demand increases, the value of MNT and effectively HNT as well will increase. Now that is a hugely critical economic feature of this Sub-DAO, because that defines 100% definitively that as the demand for MNT increases, so will the price. Now, one of the main points that I want to talk about really quickly here that was highlighted in the Discord was the 8% for settlement and federation validators. Now, if we move over here on the GitHub, we can actually see this is where they're getting that information from. Of course, here is the L1 or HNT layer, and then here's the L2 5G Sub-DAO where MNT is being mined and created. And as you can see, 10% of the MNT is actually attributed to validators, which is made up of consensus validators and settlement and federation validators. Now, of course, with 10% going that way, 90% here is going to the challenges and witnesses, which is split up then between 5G hotspots and eSIM apps. This eSIM app is what we were just talking about, where people can actually earn this MNT on their cell phone from whatever app, I guess, will have to be developed in order to do so. But to get back to their question, I think that a 90% to 10% split here between the actual challenges and witnesses and validators, I think that is rather fair. Of course, we expect these validators to work extraordinarily well. So we've seen some validator issues here in the traditional Helium blockchain recently, so we wouldn't want to see any of that. But I do think 10% is fair considering the size and demand for this 5G sub-DAO. Guys, let me know what you think about this 5G sub-DAO, as well as in general, just the entire new structure that Helium is moving towards. Of course, it is a huge change, but I think it is a positive one. I think it really opens the doors for Helium to expand beyond IoT and low-RAN devices. Let me know what you guys think, what you're looking forward to, what questions you still have. Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys all so much for being here, so much for watching until the end. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Please hit that like and subscribe if you have not already, but just like that, this video is over, and I will see you